All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the District of Brown Deer School Board meeting. Dr. Ty Beadle, and I'd like to call this meeting officially to order at 6:01 p.m. Verification of public notice. Meeting has been publicly noticed. Verification of quorum. We have 5 of our 7 board members in attendance this evening. All right. Approval of the agenda. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right. Thank you very much. Motion has been made. Do we have a second? All right, thank you, Mr. Williams. Motion is made and second. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor will raise hand and or aye. Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously 5-0. And our mission statement is through the lens of excellence, equity, and engagement. We are dedicated to empowering every student with the essential skills to build a foundation for lifelong learning. And our vision is to provide a rigorous education that empowers our students to confidently navigate in our ever-changing world. All right. Let's go on to our next item is our district administrator's report. Dr. Cotton.
Good evening, good evening, board and staff and guests through the screen. Catrice Cotton, proud superintendent for the school district of Brown Deer. September has been a month of new beginnings, new faces, and new opportunities to enhance the quality of education the students are receiving. I would like to highlight some of the district-wide events that took place this month. There's nothing like opening the school year with a bang. The administration would like to thank all members of the Board of Education, village dignitaries, and community members who set aside time to welcome back our students to the 25-26 school year. Special thanks to our high school band, cheerleaders, and Freddie the Falcon for making this event festive, invoking our Falcon pride. The launch of Parent Square. Keeping our families abreast of important information is paramount this school year. We have successfully launched the use of Parent Square in the district, a safe and secure platform for all school-to-home communications. Can I get a Go Pack Go? Staff members across the district showed their Packer pride by wearing green and gold to show their support of our awesome professional football team.
Where were they at on Sunday?
I know. Let's not even talk about it. I breathe. All right. The numbers are in. I am pleased to report that our third Friday enrollment count is 1634. This is 13 students over our projected enrollment number of 1621. We are now in the process of reviewing our current student information to ensure all students' information can be counted in this year's count. Attend today, achieve tomorrow. Our daily attendance rate for third Friday looked pretty good. And we had numbers of BDE was at like 97% on that Friday. The middle school was at 94% and the high school was at 95%. But currently overall, we're averaging 94% daily attendance. And I would like to thank building leadership and staff for hosting school-wide events that helped to celebrate our third Friday count. And I'd also like to just publicly recognize Ms. Ramos and her team for all the hard work they did in order to try to make sure that we're securing these third Friday count numbers. At the BDE this month, Brown Deer Elementary was honored as School of Recognition by Governor Edwards. The Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction has named Brown Deer Elementary a 23-24 Wisconsin School of Recognition, an honor highlighting its dedication to student growth and achievement. Brown Deer Elementary received the award in the High Impact School category. This distinction is based on a rigorous set of criteria, including academic performance, measurable progress in student growth and graduation rates, including reducing achievement gaps, particularly among students from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. The Wisconsin Schools of Recognition program honors Title I schools that demonstrate success in educating all students, particularly those experiencing poverty. After a pause during the COVID-19 pandemic, the DPI resumed the award for the 23-24 school year to continue celebrating schools that make a lasting impact. We are incredibly proud of our students, staff, and the administration for their commitment to academic excellence at BDE. Monthly birthday celebrations are back and will take place this month for all students born in the months of August and September. We appreciate the PTC for hosting the celebratory event for our youngest scholars. And if I'm right, there will be about 120 students that will be celebrated this month. This month at Brown Deer Middle School, I made approximately 400 friends in middle school over the past first 3 weeks of school. How might you ask? I asked a simple question. Do you know my name? The question was asked to all of our middle school students during lunch, and I had the opportunity to meet with and introduce, as well as reintroduce myself to our students in the middle school. It was truly a fun way to learn new and returning students' names, and I will be doing this both for the high school as well as the elementary school in the upcoming months. JCC Rainbow Camp Field Trip provides all middle school students with an opportunity to participate in community building activities. Events like this are designed to build relationships, empathy, and school spirit amongst our middle school students. Within the high school, light, camera, action, our Brown Deer Falcon football team has been on the news. Our very own Peyton Norrington was recognized by Fox 6 as High School Hotshot of the Week, and James Ross III was recognized on WISN for his Operation Football Play of the Week. To say we are extremely proud of these positive news stories is an understatement. Congratulations to the entire football team and all of the coaches. We are delighted to report that fall sports are back up and running. We've had students participating in several sports, including football, tennis, soccer, and cross country. Today, I would like to shout out our cross country team. On Thursday, September the 18th, the district served as the host for the Brown Deer Cross Country Invite Meet, a 5K run for both boys and girls, and a shout out to our sophomore sensation, Riley Weiss, who won the boys 5K with a time of 20 minutes and 30 seconds. And finishing second among girls was sophomore Genesis Reyes Juarez with a time of 26 minutes and 52 seconds. Congratulations to all of our Falcon athletes and Coach Deffrin for making us proud on and off the field. And that concludes the month.
So Gerald, you got them sports that kind of working out now, huh? All right. You know, a little something. We'll take it. You know, it's always good to be in the news in relationship to successes and stuff, especially for some of our sports that we've kind of been a little bit behind. But you know what? Hey, it's always about that turnaround and stuff. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Dr. Cotton, to you and your team, and just wonderful information. I think this is information that all of our whole Brown Deer community needs to know, that we can figure out, make sure that we get all of that out to them so that they understand everything that's going on in a short amount of time. You know, school's only been in session for 3 weeks. And think about within these 3 weeks, we've accomplished so much in 3 weeks. Now imagine what we're gonna accomplish in 3 months.
You also had a diver make the podium at the diving meet and racing.
All right. That worked. Okay. All right. So good job. All right. So now this is where we come into our public comment. Oh, I'm so sorry. Board members, do you have any questions for Dr. Cotton? Outside of congratulations. We'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. So now this is where we come to our public comments. If there's anyone that's in attendance and or that is virtual that has a comment about a subject that is a part of our agenda, it is for a comment, not a question. It is for a comment. And you would have 3 minutes in order to be able to do that. What you'd have to do is be able to say your name and your address. Okay, so is there anyone that would like to be heard in attendance and or virtually? Is there someone watching the chat?
Yeah, there's nothing there. Business is on mine. So.
Okay, all right. We'll give it another 15 seconds. All right, thank you very much. Let's go on to our item number 4, our consent agenda. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, including the minutes of August 8th, 2025, special board meeting board retreat, August 12th, 2025, special board meeting, August 21st, 2025, special board meeting, August 26th, 2025, regular board meeting, a schedule of voucher payments via check, ACH, and wire transfers in the amount of $633,160.75. and the general checking account and the food service account, including funds 10, 21, 27, 39, 46, 50, 73, and 80, and the September 23rd, 2025 school safety drill update as presented.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Welch. Motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Megan. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor will raise hand and or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? All right, motion carries unanimously 5-0. All right, let's go on to our next item, which is item number 5, our safety update. Mr. Russ?
Good evening, board. Just wanted to give you guys a little summary of the staff health. During the welcome back week, all staff administrators completed an emergency preparedness training using the I Love You Guys model. Following this, building administrators held assemblies with students to review emergency procedures. So that means our staff and students are trained in the I Love You Guys. So this is since being here, this is the first time that we've had students trained as well as staff. So this is a definite win for ourselves as far as the readiness as we continue to make our students and staff safe. So and then with our continuing training process, our staff will be participating in an active evacuation drill. We will practice this evacuation to the Brown Deer Public Works building. This practice will allow staff to familiarize themselves with the evacuation route and the location where they would go to in the event of an emergency.
So from here all the way to 51st Street? I mean, is that, what is that? That's 50.
DPW, yeah.
Nice walk. So how does that work, Dr. Cotton and Mr. Muns, how does that work in the wintertime?
So if we were to have an evacuation of kind of an emergency process, we'd be doing the busing. That's the best route of busing. At this point in time, if there was let's say that if we were to have a gas leak in one of the buildings, we would evacuate that building to one of our other buildings. So let's say, for example, elementary school, if we were to have a gas leak, we would take all the littles and bring them up to the high school. And then we would bus from the high school to the DPW to do our reunifications.
So do we already have that set up then with our bus company to be like, if there's an emergency, that there'll be Jimmy on the spot to get us like 7-8 buses?
Correct. At this point, we've had conversations in the past years with the bus company, and they would dispatch as many buses as they could. We've also been trying to have further conversations with the Milwaukee Transit System as well, because they have bus routes that are right here as well. But the one thing that in an evacuation situation, the one scenario that is always recurring is that we're not going to evacuate 1,600 students all at the same time. So there's that where, you know, we're not here. The big project of having to evacuate 1,600, that would take a long time. But the processes that are with the I Love You Guys is that it's done in waves so that you can be more efficient towards the evacuation process.
So I know before we used to have conversations with the row to be able to try to go over to the row. So is that something that's an option that's off the table?
This option that we're talking about is we're practicing, like if we have to go over there.
Mhm.
We haven't had any conversations since I've been here with we tried to get some with the Karen, the church over
Yeah.
here, right?
Yep.
No, we have not had any conversations with the row since I have been.
I know in the past, we actually was set up to be able to go over the road if we had to, if there was an emergency. We did a thing with them, and this was at least about 4 or 5 years ago, prior to COVID and everything, that we would go over to the row if there was an issue. And then the other thing too that we used was the library.
So we're all to
To the church.
Chrysler Kenny, yeah, right there. I mean, again,
Those are two that, I'm in full disclosure, those are two places that we have not talked about.
see, I just only, I guess my concern is, and I'm quite sure with any other parents or whatever have you, trying to get all the way over to 51st Street if there's an emergency, especially in the winter time.
So the safety committee that had been convening for a long time, I think one of the reasons why Officer Oleg believes that the DPW is probably the best spot is because what we can do is because if this becomes a safety zone issue, you know, getting our students off campus to a location where we can control the traffic in, as you know, you can go in, we can park the trucks there, we can have one way in, one way out. What we will be doing on October 3rd is we will be practicing what that reunification looks like through the I Love You guys. So the principals and I and other team members, and Officer Oleg has been trained many times, has done the actual training by the I Love You guys, where, you know, there are staff members that have roles and things like that. So rather than disruptive to Thoreau's schedule or, you know, trying to, or heaven forbid, this was a safety zone where they would have to be cordoned off and we couldn't get there. So it's actually just a little, it's 1.2 miles, which is actually just the left of our campus. It's the same distance. And so to get to the DPW, but yes, there's plans in place for city buses, for our school buses, all of those things that we've kind of considered. This is obviously kind of the worst case scenario, but this is the most prepared we have ever been in my 23 years here. So it's I think with the, and as Matt said too, it's the first time that students have been trained on what an emergency response would look like. What happens when we do X, Y, and Z, or if we hear this, then this. And it's done at the elementary level, middle school, and then Ms. Brown, it has her scheduled for next week.
What's the approximate travel time for a bus to get to campus? And that's given that it's not during arrival time or dismissal time. What would the approximate time frame be for them to get to campus to get students? Because I still am of the mind that.
To be all honest, I don't have that time, I don't have that time frame. But to the exact training that we've had, an incident starts and stops, or starts and is over within 10 minutes. So the police department is usually on scene within that 10 minutes, but usually in an act.
The 2 minutes.
It's
That's what
about a
they said.
10-minute thing.
Remember before when Brown did, no, I think the police said that they would be here. There was something like if we ended up with some kind of emergency, correct me if I'm wrong with the number, but it was like a minute and like, it was like a minute, 56 seconds or something like that.
They get there.
They are quick.
I mean, they would literally be here by the time you hung up the phone.
Right, can be routed. If I remember correctly, Officer Oleg would be able to clarify, but I believe a city bus could be rerouted in less than 15 minutes. The depot is close enough. We have a certified bus driver on staff, you know, we have to remember that. And so I think that there were some discussions, and I'm not aware of Kevin's notes, but when I was speaking to Right Way about those discussions, that it is fairly quick. And then even if the police came on scene, we have a holding location over at the bowling alley where then those buses will stage themselves and wait in preparation. If it was an issue at dismissal, say like you had mentioned, or something like that, those buses would be held, and then again, they're held off-site until then we can then communicate in the further direction. That's where Quentin oversees transportation. And so it's Quentin as part of that safety team then is the lead then in communicating with the bus company or with Right Way. But and then we would then defer to the police department to regarding the city buses, because they do that quite often. If there's a fire or something, they'll reroute city buses to come and to pick up families and take them to a Red Cross site. The big deal about this is that we're going to be practicing with all staff and staff will be actually practicing roles. We're gonna have staff that are acting as staff as well as staff that are acting as students. And just us going through the motions of what will we do if this were action and we were having to reunify parents with their students. It's important, and we're all gonna take the bus over there, so where the buses will get an indication of where they come in, where they would go out. And so I think it's a good exercise for us and just in case, I think using, as I'm sitting here and processing this, using places like, to the point Kara was making, using Thoreau or using, the Church Christ the King, that would be something where there wouldn't be, like, let's say there was a fire that broke out and we need to move them over there. That's where I could see us being more in contact. Can we use some of your facilities for that? But if this campus were to be under attack, let's say, that's why we've got to also go and practice over at DPW about what do we do in that space. Those are quick spaces, getting there, using the Karen Church for some of the BDE, moving the children up. That's something that we can control, but we're also trying to prepare for what if this became one of those, a high intense, how do we get people out of here and over to there to ensure safety as well?
And it does also give us, like, so there's different scenarios because we might do an on-site reunification where, so just for an example, kind of if we have a situation after school where we need to have a little bit more structured pickup and things like that. But if there's something that we want to have a reunification on site where it's a little more structured and organized, again, our staff members would be the ones who would be helping with that. So understanding kind of the role of the accountant, the greeter, the person who's doing the reunifying, and then all of those behind the scenes things that happen in terms of like the ASC staff, folks who are administrators, the SEL folks, not the crowd control, the student monitors, those who are class leads. So teachers will then, and then we're going to swap roles. So middle high school teachers this time are going to be the parents and the teachers, and then elementary staff are going to be the students. And then we'll swap then on another PD day where then they get to see what that looks like and to practice that reunification. And then we're able to kind of work out the kinks and things like that, because we have a system where we don't necessarily know. I'm just trying to for us on that back end, that administrative end, making sure, like, how does attendance work? How do we make sure that how does Nurse Crowley make sure that they've met the medical needs? Do we have the bags? Do we know, specific students with diabetes, or, for example, who's coming through unification, or what happened? What do we do with the student? And we are intentional principals have been working really hard to identify students. This student's missing on your roster. Can you mark them as such so that we can see what it looks like in our system when they're missing? And then can you then account for them later? What does that make it look like? So just all that practice.
And just for purposes of this conversation about these two entities that are closest, I can always reach out to Paula Jackson, who serves as the principal over here at Thoreau. I probably could find the contact person for
We got
Christ the King.
a contact person.
Yeah.
Christ the King.
And just to make sure that, like I said, if there's something that happens here locally, that we can go to those spaces, because it does make sense. We're thinking about that. This
That
becomes.
big giant thing, right?
What do we do in that instance, and making sure the staff is prepared for that as well.
All right, board members, any other questions? I'm quite sure we kind of went through a little bit of this or whatever have you, but again, this is one of those things that we as a board and as residents that, we want to make sure that those safety measures and things are in place or whatever. If there is one of those emergencies, all right, and we want to make sure that we're prepared and the kids are prepared or whatever have you, but we also know kind of what's supposed to happen, and we're like, okay, we're good with this. We're good with this plan, all right? So.
And at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a plan to keep everyone safe. It's a plan to have everyone come home at the end of the day. It's because that's what our expectations are every day. We walk into this building, when we walk out, is to make sure that everyone's safe in every degree.
Perfect, sounds good. Board members, any other questions in relationship to this? All right, thank you, Matt. All right, go to our, our next piece is our facilities and grounds update.
Hey, that's me.
All right.
Luck, I guess. The facilities and grounds, we are continuing to do the final touch-ups with the flooding that happened over the past summer. You know, there's always the one little off and ons that we're finding here and there. And so we're doing up the final touches on that. We're hopefully be done with that by the end of the first semester here. So we're working hard at it. So it's been a challenge. So it's been good though. We are continuing, we have completed our striping of the elementary school playground and getting that all prepared so that our young folks can play four square and see what they're doing actually. So that has been an extra added bonus to our lovely thing. We're making good curb appeal, so we've been painting the yellow curbs again. Those have been kind of worn out, so we're painting all of that and we're doing the final touches in between rainstorms and the kids. So, you know, it's a slow process, but we're making it happen. And then one final thing is that in the preparation of the potential referendum, the Facilities and Grounds Department is continuing to gather information and share with the public. We are using our capital improvement plan, which was created by Performance Services, PSI, and to help make the informed decisions. We will provide more information as the referendum process moves forward. So we're continuing to do that as days and weeks go on. Continued conversations with Dr. Cotton. More conversations with Quentin. We'll make him happen right here soon. So. And then else we can give him the shave his head. You know, that's the yeah.
All right. Okay, perfect. Any questions? All right, thank you very much. All right, let's go on to our next item is our item C, approval of Neola policy review and the second reading. All right, board members, prior to us going into this, was there any questions in relationship to the second reading before we ask someone to go for approval? Any questions in relationship to it? I've looked through it. Everything looked good as far as from what I saw and being able to go through this. Anyone else? Question? I saw you bring out a whole notebook. I was about to be like, okay, let's carry the two. All right. All right. So would someone like to make a motion to approve the Neola policy second reading?
Yes, Dr. Vito, I'd like to make a motion to approve the second reading of policy review, including the policies that are listed on the agenda.
All right. Thank you very much. Motion has been set. Motion has been made. Anyone want a second? I think Ms. Farrington, motion has been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing you say none, all in favor, raise hand and or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing you say none, motion carries unanimously 5-0. All right, let's go on to our next item is our board reports, our SWSA legislative, our WASB, our Ed Foundation, and our Park and Rec report. SWSA legislative update. Ms. Bacon.
Don't even make it quick and simple.
We'll get the Cliff Note version. I'll just give you the business of making. If there's a lot of information that needs to be shared with the board, please do so. So I was just giving you the business.
Basically, there's some good news and some bad news. The good news is that more money is being given to special education for reimbursement rates of 42% and 45%. So over the past 30 years, it had kind of been neglected. The issue is, however, that choice schools are going to receive more monies than do public schools for that reimbursement. In addition, the general school aid has been frozen to a certain extent. I guess there would be no additional monies that would be given towards that. So unfortunately, that means that any shortages will have to be taken care of based on taxes, property taxes. So that's the issue that we have here. I tried to kind of. So yeah, so it's gonna require that the local taxpayers pick up the tab, go out to a referendum, most likely. There was some other information that was about the Wisconsin retirement system that I'm a little foggy on, because if we're trying to get folks to come back to work, it seems like to me that there's no real incentive for them to come back. They can't continue to get their annuities or whatever. They can get the pay, but they can't get the annuities that they had been getting before.
Really? I thought if you retired and under your WRS and you retired and just say that you came back to sub or whatever have you, I thought that they didn't mess with that money. I thought you continued to get that money plus whatever else that you had coming in.
Well,
57. I think it cuts off at 57.
well, they've kind of changed it according to this, so. What I will do is I'll share this information with anyone who wants it. Dr. Cotton was nice enough to pull this information for me because I was not able to get on that day. But that's kind of a shocker to me. So I could be misrepresenting, but I kind of underlined, tried to figure it out here, so.
And I think that's Director Rankin, if you don't mind, I think some of that too with retirees too is that length of time, the max set up that 75 days. I think there's some adjustment that they're looking at so that they can report back, that they don't have to sit out the 75 and that they can come back a little bit earlier. I think that's included in that space as well.
Yeah, so I don't see that, here, but definitely get in contact with, a representative from WRS if you're interested in, if someone has. I would end up having to do that. I think everybody else is working still. Okay, let's see. It also talks about Wisconsin education spending is falling behind other national averages. So less than 9.9% less than the national average is what we're spending. So we're being good fiscal agents with our money. It's just that, there's a lot of everything is a lot more expensive than it has been in the past. And with us not being able to get this money, it's being frozen by the US Department of Education. More schools are gonna have to go to referendum in Wisconsin. So that's the report.
All right, that's the 411. Okay. All right, thank you very much. And that actually would probably coincide with the WASB update and stuff because they are together in relationship to that. Our Ed Foundation, I know that the Ed Foundation did not meet from VP Robinson had said before that their meeting actually was getting ready to happen. Is it this week, I believe, or whatever? So there is no Ed Foundation report. Parks and Rec, I think that we don't meet until is it October?
Correct.
All right, there's not a meeting until October, in relationship to Parks and Rec. Okay, all right, with that being said, let's go on to our item number 7, our board planning calendar. Of course, everybody knows the 25th is our budget hearing and our annual meeting. We'll be having that at the Browndale Elementary School. Now, is that gonna be in the cafeteria?
That is in the cafeteria at the Brown.
All right, so again, everybody remember, board members, if you can, we definitely want to be there and stuff because we are also voting members in relationship to this, okay? Because you have to be a Browndale resident and in person in order to be able to vote, okay? The October 3rd is a professional learning day, so there's no school. October 10th is a homecoming game against Martin Luther High School, the Falcons. All right, the homecoming dance is the 11th at 7. On the 14th, we have our special board meeting. The 14th to the 15th is parent teacher conferences from 3:30 to 7:30 are in person. Now, question, is there going to be anything virtual for parents to be able to do that? Because all of this says it's in person. Is there going to be anything set up to where parents can, like, especially if they can't get off work or they may work second? Is there any way for them to do anything virtual with certain teachers, if that all possible? This
their
one.
teacher preferences.
Yeah.
We're gonna discuss it cabinet tomorrow.
Okay, so you'll be able to let us know something
Yeah.
before our next board meeting. We'll be able to share that information as well.
And I only looked at Kara because she works with the leaders with the parent
Yeah,
teacher
we're, but it's a topic at cabinet tomorrow to discuss what they'd like to do and how they wanna do that.
Okay,
It's gone over well in the past. I think parents appreciate that virtual option.
all right. Then we go to the 17th is no school, the 23rd is our regular board meeting, 29th is a high school choir concert in the MAC. And then the 4th is professional development, the 11th of November is our other board meeting, the 25th. Regular board, wait a minute, Thanksgiving is the 26th, so it's gotta be the 2 days after. So then Thanksgiving holiday is the 26th to the 28th, so there's no school and the district office is closed. All right, with that being said, would someone like to make a motion? Oh, I'm so sorry, Dr. Carter.
I just want to, thank you, Director Barrington. I do want to read into the record about for the Racine Unified School District Diving Invitational, our student was Elsa Nordstrom from Brown Deer. Was placed 7th in
Okay.
at the that, and then also if I could please, October 10th is high school, the homecoming parade.
And the parade,
Where
okay.
the parade starts at 4 p.m. on that day.
So the parade is at 4 p.m.
On October the 10th, so if we would love to see everybody out on the parade.
Mhm.
We're gonna have a lot of student participation, a lot of clubs.
Mhm. What's the route this year?
From 40, I think 6, 7. And Dean all the way straight down to Dean here on 60th and then come through this way. So 47th, straight down Dean to 60th and Dean. Cross here on 60th and then come into the parking lot, and we're gonna have a tailgate this year as well. So the tailgate will start right after the parade concludes,
All right,
and we'll get more details.
Porterhouse Steaks.
I know,
Hey. You don't ask, you never know.
So you get your hot dog, bring your own sausage, you bring your own steak.
Hey, I'll donate my porterhouse steak to me.
Yeah.
Question, where are we gonna meet? We haven't had one in some years now,
What?
right? Homecoming parade.
We have yeah. Besides this one.
Where are we going to meet?
Well, she just said, they started out on 46th Street, right?
Like 46, 47.
46th and Dean Road.
Come straight down Dean, so,
Okay.
I'll definitely let Miss Curry know if you guys want to be in it, save a spot for it.
Okay.
Okay.
I know I've done it in the past. I didn't-
Okay, all right,
Okay, cool.
cool. All right, is there any other updates, Dr. Cotton, in relationship to the board planning calendar?
No, sir, thank you, thank you.
Okay, with that being said, would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
Love to make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn? Okay, all right, tell us how you really feel.
Happy Tuesday.
Okay, all right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Ms. Owen. Motion been made and seconded. All in favor, raise hand and/or aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously 5-0. And I say this board member is adjourned at 6:39 p.m. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the remainder of your evening. Let's make sure that our weather continues to work with us. And let's go ahead and good luck to all of our Wisconsin sports teams in the upcoming weeks. And to all of our babies here from Brown Deer.